Hey, good morning. It is Tuesday, July 14th, and it is a beautiful day out here this morning, and just getting ready to head out of the cabin. Today, going to go head over towards Lake Gorge, do 11-mile canyon, 11-mile reservoir, then take some back roads all the way south, and then head over potentially near the Royal Gorge, and then head north to Victor through Phantom Canyon and Cripple Creek and come back home. So yesterday was a good day. Got to do Rampart Range Road, and there was some great riding out there. Had a small little piece of Signal Butte Road that was pretty technical for this big bike. On a small bike it would be easy, but she's a heavy beast, and she don't like sandy, uphill, bumpy stuff. So that was probably more than the clutch liked, but made it through. And yesterday I had some thunderstorms roll through in the afternoon. Today looks to be good though, but it is the mountains, and it seems the storms just kind of pop up in the afternoons and happen. So anyway, we'll see how today goes, but looks like it's going to be a great day. Okay, I'm on Highway 24 between Divide, Colorado and Florissant. And used to drive this all the time when we'd go to school, Woodland Park and all that, but came on just to, I remember this section right here, because one time I was riding with Mom. She picked me up at school and we were coming back, and there was an accident here, and I think it involved a motorcycle actually, and the guy got thrown into the ditch and he cracked his head on a rock. And I remember my mom was one of the first responders and went to help, and some other folks showed up, and then eventually the ambulance and all that, but it was way out here for an ambulance to get here and everything. And I totally remember that situation and being just so impressed with how Mom handled that. Of course, then she got in the car and she was a little emotional afterwards and everything, but she was a trooper. It was pretty cool to see. But yeah, I have done this road many times, but it's the first time I've been on it in this on this trip. All right, coming into 11-mile canyon, and this was one of my favorite places. We'd come visit here quite often when I lived out here, and came out here in 2013 with kids. It's just a beautiful road, and then you got the river down below, and I mean it's just a gorgeous area. And then I think part way up this road was the place that I did some Boy Scout camps and stuff, but I think that was on this road. There you can see what the river does down there. It just flows. It's just gorgeous. The funny story for this canyon came when we were here in 2013 with Tyler and Grace, and we stopped at one of these pull-offs and went down to see the water and jump on the rocks and all that fun stuff. And I think Grace was a pretty new owner of a cell phone, and she decided that the safe place for her to store that phone while she ran down by the river was on top of the rear tire in the fender well, and then she forgot about it. And so we didn't see it. We drove off, and then somebody came up and said, "Hey, you dropped this phone back there." And we had drove over the phone, and in a commercial made for OtterBox, it had the OtterBox case on it, and there was no damage. It's unbelievable. Oh, there's some deer you can see right there. So anyway, that's the funny story for 11-mile canyon. So in a twist of fate, I believe it's 11 miles up to the lake. So I won't keep you on camera for the whole thing, but if anything cool pops up, I'll let you know. All right, there is Camp Alexander, and that is the Boy Scout camp that I went to. I do remember it in my mind what it was like. I remember the lodge, but the most memorable thing was a thing they had called the kiva. and it was a round structure with seating all the way around. That's where we had a lot of our large-scale events with the big. I think it was more than just our Boy Scout pack that went. There must have been more because there was a lot of kids there. But it was open in the middle at the top of the roof because you could have fires in there. So it was built after, I don't know, I think they said it was like patterned after how the Native Americans used to do their thing for councils and whatnot. So anyway, that was kind of cool. But yeah, looks like there's some other campers there, Camp Alexander. But yeah, there's a big lodge and everything way up that road. All right, so got a guy who caught a fish here. Oh, hey, nice work. I'm sure he loved being watched lose a fish, but yeah, there's a lot of anglers up and down this road, and again, the beauty of this stretch is just unbelievable. I mean, it's just rapid section after rapid section through these rocks. I don't know if anybody does the kayak down these. I mean, it's not super deep, and like the rocks are everywhere. I think it'd be, I mean, I don't think there's any places that it's like super flowing fast, but I don't know, it's pretty tight. I don't know. But it's also cool coming early in the morning like this. Current time 16. The changing lights, because the sun's kind of still low, so you come into areas of brightness like this, and then when you go around the corner up here, you'll be in darkness. Oh yeah, here's the cool tunnel. Awesome. It's just cool coming through there, and then it opens up and you see all this. So, pretty sweet. All right, neat little pass area, and then looks like we cross the river again. It's pretty well 11 miles of nonstop beauty. Another tunnel on 11 Mile Canyon Road, double. I'm going to need to look, because just the way this is built makes me feel that this used to be a railroad. This is typically, and all that black up top, typically when I've seen stuff like this, it's former railroad paths that changed the course or whatnot. So I just came off 11 Mile Canyon to, this is called 11 Mile Cutoff. So it says it's about a 4-mile Jeep trail that heads over to the road that then will take me up to 11 Mile Reservoir, which is above the dam that I just went to. So this is not like a regular county road or anything, but I thought I'd check it out. If by chance it gets to where I'm not liking the trail or whatnot, I can turn around and then take the regular road around, but this one seemed to be following this creek that goes through the valley, and well, let's take a look see. Not a bad way to spend a Tuesday morning. Okay, this 11-mile cutoff decided to come up out of the valley, so we'll see how this goes. Like I said, if it gets too cruddy, I will just turn around, but it's actually easier than yesterday's because it's not sandy. Most of the trail's been pretty good. Cross rut. Okay. It would be a fun little trail in a Jeep. Faux show. Alright. This is a nice stretch on 11-mile cutoff. Just a beautiful stand of aspen trees with the rocks. I always thought there's just something super magical about the aspen stands. I don't know. And plus you get to see everybody. They're like the best to carve your name into. Because it shows up, it just becomes a big black scar on the white bark. Yeah, look at these beautiful trees. Coming over here, that straight ahead is 11-mile reservoir, so that 11-mile canyon that I was just in is below the dam. And you can see a bunch of the mountains off the distance. I can't tell you exactly which is what. I think that one's Pikes Peak. Yeah, that one's Pikes Peak, and then I think the one over to the right, really tall one, is like Mount Ebert or something like that. But I'm going off memory and probably wrong. But yeah, this reservoir came out here a couple times when I lived out here and did some fishing. But I don't remember it very well, to be honest. I do remember it's down a long freaking ways of gravel to get to it. It seems like it's still that way. It's funny, I was just on the other side of the dam and I've probably been riding 45 minutes through the mountains and whatnot just to get from one side of the dam to the other. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so this area drops down into a valley with a bunch of pastures and stuff, but there is 11-mile reservoir. So I'll maybe take some video when I get closer up towards the dam. Okay, so this is Witcher's Cove at 11-Mile Canyon Lake, and you can see the lake over there to the left, and then if you go over here to the right, down that canyon is the dam. So I was just on the other side down there. I don't know if I can see the dam, but anyway, down that way. It is beautiful. I mean, this section over here is beautiful. There it gets kind of out into the flatlands and whatnot, but here's where the canyon starts. It goes down to 11 Mile Canyon right down there. So this end is quite pretty. Okay, so this is the access to 39 Mile Mountain Trail. So right back behind me over there, we're over there, is 11 Mile Canyon, 11 Mile Reservoir, excuse me. So this looks like an access road that goes through some private land to get to the National Forest, which is right up there. So it's a little different road than I've been on. It's super like rocky, jaggedy rocks. And so it says that this trail is supposed to be relatively easy. I'm hopeful that it's like the ones that have been over here in the Pike National Forest near Lake Gorge, because those trails through the forest and whatnot were top notch. I mean, little bumps, little bit of rocks, but no sand. Oh, I gotta pay attention to which way to go. Sorry. Which is very important. Doesn't really say. So I'm gonna go this way. No, let's go this way. Watch my dot. See if my dot's going in the right spot. And it's gonna look like it doesn't actually matter because they both hook up, of course. So anyway, so there's the 11 Mile Canyon Mountains, and then over here is 39 Mile, whatever that is. So check in later. All right, so here on that 39 Mile Mountain Trail, and the first section was really rocky, some sharp, jaggedy rocks, but probably better than round rocks or small rocks because they don't move on you as much. But now it's just beautiful. Look at this. Just some black dirt rolling smooth as silk up through the mountain valley. Yeah, this is my kind of trail. This is gorgeous and just serene. Nobody really around. Come up here to a little aspen stand. Slow down for this. Looks like it bumps up quite a bit. So here you can see where I'm going. Okay, well, this will be a downhill, a little rocky area, so this will be a little fun, but one thing, let's look at the gorgeous view over the valley, down around the bend. Just gotta get past these little bit of rock action here, so I'm gonna ease into this. Woo. Once I get over this ledge, I think I can pretty well go. There. These first gear, transmission, rear brake. We'll wash out the front. These loose rocks on downhill can be a little. They can move around a little bit on you. Okay. This looks like kind of hard pack rock. Got to pull the clutch in because I'm going so slow. Still just using the rear brake. Okay, that's good. Oh, I had a rock roll up and hit the crash bar on the bottom and lift my rear tire up off the ground. That felt a little weird because I lost all my brakes there for a second, but all's good now. All right, got a little rock water crossing here. See if I can see how deep that is. Ooh, not terribly deep, but I do want to go on that side, I think. I don't see where those other motorcycle tracks went. Well, they did go through here. Okay, here we go. That one visually was a little deceiving because you could not really see the bottom too well because it was so dark. All right, I'm out here on 39 Mile Mountain Trail, and you can see I got the bike parked here along the trail. This is an old log cabin in front of the beautiful mountain. And if I pan over here, it looks like there used to be another cabin on the other side of this creek bed that runs down there. So I've come from that direction all the way up and over down there and heading up that way. So it's been a pretty good trail. Like I said, a little bit, some rocks in some areas, but mostly it's good. So enjoying it. All right, so here on 39 Mile Trail still, and there in the distance is 11 Mile Canyon Reservoir. So pretty well down over that direction is where I started and worked my way all the way through. And there's the trail I came across and then ended up coming up here. And then you can see ahead, I mean, this is kind of what we're dealing with here right now. And then behind, some good aspen trees that I just came through. So it is beautiful out here, and as you can hear, just quiet. Of course, when I have the motorcycle off, I break the silence. But yeah, it's been a good trip thus far. Alright, so here just stopped on the trail for a little bit, and I think this might be the high point of the trail, I'm guessing. I am at exactly 10,000 feet, and you can see this beautiful valley down here. Goes off into the mountains, and it's just about noon, and I stopped over here, had myself a little lunch, nice little shady area. Could have myself a sandwich that I made this morning, a little fruit cup, and a Snickers bar, Lunch Champions. And then also took the opportunity to carve my initials into the tree there. So should I ever come back this way, I can find it. Much like once Dad and I on our motorcycle trip rode on a rock and put it in a Beanie Weenie can where we stopped and ate over towards Big Bend. And then 2 years later, Tyler and I came and found the same exact place and put our initials and date on it again. So cool little area up here, but nice when you can find these little shady areas and have a snack. So nice breeze up here, probably 70 degrees, and it'll get warmer as I go down the hill, but beautiful place to have a little lunch. All right, so this is the beginning of 31 Mile Creek Road. I just crossed Highway 6 and came off that 31-mile peak trail or whatever it was. So this is supposed to be this is not for off-highway vehicles. That last one allowed off-highway vehicles, so naturally it was a little bit more aggressive, but this one should be a nice easy ride. It's supposed to follow this creek down here that runs through the valley, and about 16-mile long trail. So I'll be on here for probably, I'd guess, an hour, something like that. All right, coming down through the valley on 31 Mile Creek Road, and this is a free-range cattle. So I got to go between these cattle, and they usually don't like it. So I'm gonna just slowly go. Moo. There's some more. This way. Scare them off to the left. Moo. I've seen a couple of woodpeckers. I think the woodpeckers like these aspen trees. And come out. They've got a pretty good little wingspan, and they wait till the last second. So I've had a couple of them just come right over right in front of me. Scared the crap out of you. But I had this 31 Mile Creek Road. Highly recommend it for a big, heavy adventure bike. I mean, there's a few spots that's got some rockiness and whatnot, but otherwise, it's like this, and nice, just real nice ride. That's one thing I have found on this app that I use, Onyx Off-Road. I'm trying to stay to only green trails, just because I don't want to do harder trails than that on the bike. And although I'll tell you, if I had an ATV, there'd be no place you couldn't go. Okay, so now I gotta go hard right. No maintenance. Okay. So, but also if they had like a smaller bike there, then you could go on those blues and whatnot. But I mean, a lot of these trails could be just 4 wheels is nicer on the harder stuff. But this is pretty good trails. Heading back into the mountains. Here comes a good old logging truck. Face full of dust. Wow. That's actually the first logging truck I've come across on these roads. By his tracks where he came from. All right, so that's the end of my 31 Mile Creek one, and now I'm going to go that direction to that's called Countryside Tour. This road, this one will be more country roads and everything, but look at that beautiful ranch up there on the hill. I think past the cowboy. He was up there with his horse trailer. He had a horse and a 4-wheeler in it, but this is out here, so I don't exactly know what road this is. Map isn't telling me that, but pretty well due west of Cripple Creek, probably. I don't know, if I were to guess 45 miles maybe. But down here in the high country valley, so yeah, it may not be as scenic down here on this road, but be able to make up a little bit of time on this road. So the road that last push over, and then I'll probably go on the left side. But yeah, this won't be as bad because it'll just be a little soft. But man, you get on some of these roads that have big rocks, and it's a problem. Going up over the mountains a little bit. Just barely didn't beat that car. Always like to stay ahead of cars on gravel for obvious reasons, but he actually looks like he's going at a decent speed. I don't know if Colorado has the most Subaru sales per capita of any state in America, but it's got to be close, because you don't see too many Subarus in Texas. You see them on occasion, and they're great cars. My mom drove one when we lived out here. That thing was a tank, and it could go through anything, but you just don't see them. And here it feels like it's like every 10th car, and I don't think they ever die, because you see the old ones still running around all over the place. So anyway, the auto business in Colorado, according to Matt Vermeer. All right, I'm out here at the Royal Gorge area. So that is the river, and at this minute I can't remember if I think it's the Arkansas River. Maybe, yeah, that runs down through here. But I think the Royal Gorge Bridge is just over here. I don't know if I gotta pay to go see it or not, but here was an overlook. So, and you can see the Royal Gorge train that runs right next to it. So it's been a long time. I don't think we ever came here when we lived here. I think we came here only when we lived in Kansas City. So I don't remember how this whole place works or anything like that, but this was just a little overlook that I could come down, look at the river, and then you can see the bike up there. So I will not make you watch me walk back up to the bike. Okay, so here is the Royal Gorge, and I'm not going to pay to go out there. It's quite the tourist place, but they got the bridge that you can pay to go on, which I've been on that bridge when I was a kid. I think I remember we actually were able to bring our dog out with us on a leash, Joe, our Cocker Spaniel. He was absolutely terrified. But since then, they have added gondolas that go across. I think it's on the far side right now, and then it comes over here and goes back over there. And there's zip lines that you can go across, and there is a big gravity swing up on the top that you can do as well. So it is pretty cool. It is. I'm not doing it justice, because when you stand out there, I think it's the highest suspension bridge in America, and it's forever down to the river. But it's hot, and I don't feel like walking out there right now. We're paying the money. So I think it's actually private now. So this is the equivalent of like an amusement park, if you will. But anyway, oh, there's a zip line location up there too. So yeah, oh, there goes somebody in the swing over there. Yeah, wow, that's gotta be quite the feeling. I can hear them from here. I'd say that it's really like an amusement park, if you will. This is right by the highway leading down towards the Royal Gorge behind. So they've got rock shop. They had slides there. They had the Royal Gorge Resort, like they said, coming soon down there. Obviously, they do all the whitewater tours. You're greeted at the edge of town by a prison. And that must be the historic downtown area. It says Canyon City is at 5,000 feet above sea level. Downtown to see what it looks like. Alright. Yeah, it looks like your standard Old West town. Touristy shops and whatnot. I mean, obviously this is where people are coming for tourism. But I can tell you this, you can feel that this is down at 5,000 feet, and that's one way to park. And I've been up at 9,000 feet and whatnot because, boy, the temperature changes. It's 93 degrees down here. So anyway, there's what Canyon City looks like. Okay, so this is the beginning of Phantom Canyon Road. Funny enough, when I was talking to Dad last night, kind of told him where I was going to be around. He said, hey, you ought to check out Phantom Canyon Road. That's a nice road. And I got looking on my Onyx off-road app, and lo and behold, that was one of them that I had planned on doing. So great minds think alike. So I don't think that it's going to be anything super technical, considering they allow trucks up to 25 feet in length. But I think it's like 22 miles of this gravel road, so it's going to take 45 minutes or so to go through here, just because it's going to be all these windy roads. So here is what Phantom Canyon Road looks like, and yeah, this is cool. I do know that one of these times I'm going to go around one of those corners, there's going to be a car there. It usually scares the crap out of you. And I'm going from the south towards, from Canyon City up towards Victor. Alright, looks like it's going to be a good road. Alright, so this is coming south towards the north, Phantom Canyon, and the first tunnel. Look at how they did this thing. I think they've re-encased it, but that is cool. So this, Dad told me this was a old railroad bed that they've then since reclaimed as a road. I'll tell you two things. One, I would not want to be the guys who had to build the railroads through some of this stuff. It don't look like it'd be any fun at all. I bet they use dynamite like crazy. Two, this creek runs here through the middle. And you know, a lot of times you come to these where the water runs through a canyon and you see, I mean, the rocks are a little smooth, or you can tell that the canyon has been kind of worn by the water, but this doesn't feel that way. I mean, these rocks don't look like they've been worn at all. It's like the earth split open here. Ain't no water running in it today though. So I can't tell. I'm not far from where that big fire is taking place right now, but it's not far at all. Like, I would dare say it's like less than 20 miles, but I don't know what the wind direction or something, but you can look up above. I mean, you ain't gonna see bluer skies than that. Just a super rugged canyon. Super cool. All right, here's another train tunnel. Boy, your vision just does not change that fast. Whew. You definitely go through there pretty well driving to the light, hoping that nobody laid something across the middle of the road. But hey, this is a great road. This is a geez, as washboardy as they come, I can tell you that much. But what a fun little road. I mean, you could drive this. This is kind of an any vehicle type of road. I mean, it's gonna get shaken up a little bit, but you could easily do this in just a regular pickup. I mean, you could do it in a car if you wanted to. There's no terrain per se. It's just rough with the washboard. Well, here I am on a bridge crossing Phantom Creek. Probably about halfway up the canyon, something like that. Just thought I'd stop here and take a little video. But yeah, a bridge that curves, for one, that's different. And it looks like people stop here and put stickers, and I thought that one was funny. You son of a bitch. Food, not bombs. Huh. All right. Like 7,500 feet now or something like that, and it's definitely noticeably better from a temperature standpoint. It was 92 down in the valley. I think I'm at 88 now, and I don't think my temp gauge has caught up. It feels cooler than that. So, and down there is the road I came on. All the way down there. Here, I'll get over to the edge for you. Now we're getting into something. Okay, this is quite fun. All right, look at that. Wow. Wow. That's a few hundred feet down. Okay.